Good evening, everybody. I think we all need some time to rest and catch our breath, especially for those who started early Saturday morning. So that has been almost 48 hours ago, and boy, I can see them here, and I hope you can get your worthwhile, deserving rest at this point. So let me first acknowledge our guest of honors, starting with Yusek Pablo Lorenzo. Oh, sorry, he's not here. Of course, our usual friend of mine, the head of the Veterans Federation of the Philippines, Major General Romeo or Romy Alamilio, sir. Yusek, oh, he's not also here. I don't see him. So, Asek Restituto Aguilar. Good evening, sir. Capas Mayor Rosalier Boots Rodriguez. Okay, we represent. So I don't have the updated list. I'm so sorry about that. Mike, let me just get my list done. Where is he? Sir, Lieutenant General Aristotle D. Gonzalez. Sir, good evening. And the representative of Mayor. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. Okay, so good evening again, everybody. I have a list of people to thank, and as the lead and presenter of this 2026 Freedom March, please allow me again to extend this gratitude for the unwavering support we have just received. This event would have not been possible without your partnership, your presence, of course, and your commitment to honoring our World War II heroes. Our partners, the Department of National Defense, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, the Veterans Federation of the Philippines, the Philippine National Police, maraming salamat po. Your steadfast collaboration strengthens this commemoration every year. Again, thank you very much to the local government units that ensured our safety, order, and welfare of our marchers. Thank you to the province of Bataan, led by Governor Joet Garcia, the province of Pampanga, led by Governor Lilia Pineda, the municipal government of Mariveles under Mayor A.J. Concepcion, the city government of Balanga under Mayor Raquel Francis Garcia, the municipality of Dinalupihan under Mayor Herman Santos Jr., the city of San Fernando under Mayor Vilma Calawag, and the municipality of Capas under Mayor Rosalier Boots Rodriguez. So to all our LGU, including the volunteers, the PDRRMOs, the MDRRMOs, and our longtime partners at Cavite Rescue 1, thank you for your dedication. Our gratitude also goes to the Clark American Cemetery and the veterans of foreign wars for their continuing support. A heartfelt thank you to you as well, our sponsors, the Authority of Freeport Area of Bataan and Red Oak Properties. The Freedom March stands on your shoulders of all of you. Its success is your success. But most of all, thank you, our dear marchers. We have come here today with, I guess, varied intentions and objectives. But whatever is the aggregate determination to be part of this occasion, just to be present tonight, makes this whole thing very wonderful and holy, so to speak. Some of you have completed the entire route, and all of you walk with purpose, conviction, and heart. I had the privilege of marching you today, just from Kapas Park to here to this national shrine. As a descendant of World War II veteran, that walk was more than a physical journey. It was emotional, personal, and deeply humbling. As I was walking again, the entrance, I felt the same way as those who were walking. I thought I would never feel the same way as I did last year, my first time. It just sent me a chill of awe. It's just tumitindig pa rin balihibo ko. No? So, yeah, it's such a great feeling. That 11-kilometer stretch was particularly challenging. The heat was first punishing at first. The fumes were thick. Somebody was burning some grass along the road. But even so, the faint shadow of what our World War II heroes endured, they were starving, they were wounded, they were beaten, and yet refusing to surrender their dignity. What we just did is just to commemorate that. Their sacrifice is the reason we are here today. Their courage is the reason we are free. So as the Bank of the World War II veterans and families, the Philippine Veterans Bank believe it is our solemn duty to ensure that the memory of their bravery lives on. This today, in the last 2 days, might not have been perfect, and I take full responsibility of that. All I can promise you is that we will get better as the year goes on, because we will continue to honor the memories of our World War II heroes. In one of the most meaningful ways, we bring together organizations, communities, families, and individuals who share the same commitment to honoring and remembering our heroes. Tonight, as we gather on hallowed ground, here at the Kapas National Shrine, the site of the former Camp O'Donnell, where countless Filipino and American soldiers suffered, died, and endured unimaginable hardship, let us reaffirm our promise. We will not forget. We will continue to walk. We will continue to tell their stories. So for as long as we march, their legacy lives. Maraming salamat po, and may we continue to honor our veterans, not just today, but every day. See you again in the next year, the 2027 Freedom March. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Katabran, for the welcome remarks. To give a special message for this year's Freedom March, let's hear from the representative of Honorable Mayor Roseler P. Rodriguez of Kapas Tarlac. Let us call on the Executive Assistant for External Affairs, Ms. Marie Tanglao Mason.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to greet everyone. Wonderful evening. And before I acknowledge and pursue with the message, I would like to acknowledge, of course, our very important guest. I will start with Lieutenant General Aristotle D. Gonzalez, Philippine Air Force, Commander, Northern Luzon Command. Sir, we met from the Balikatan meeting, sir. Nice to see you again. Mr. Eulogio D. Catabran III, President, Philippine Veterans Bank. Okay. Major General Romeo D. Alamilio, Philippine Air Force, retired, President and CEO, Veterans Federation of the Philippines. ASEC Restituto L. Aguilar, Deputy Administrator, PVAO. ASEC Domingo C. Carbonell Jr., Deputy Administrator for Operations, PVAO. And Mr. Miguel Angelo Villarreal, Philippine Veterans Bank. Good evening, my beloved brothers and sisters in freedom. On behalf of our Honorable Mayor, Attorney Roseler B. Rodriguez, let me share with you an equally important message as we celebrate this meaningful occasion. Let us take a moment to look around. Look at the ground beneath your feet. This is the very earth where our fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers walked through unspeakable hardship, yet never lost sight of our nation's future. Today, we retrace the 1942 Death March route under our battle cry, in the footsteps of our World War II heroes. We do not just walk a path, we carry the beating heart of our people forward. I see you here today, you who left your homes to stand in solidarity, you who wear the uniform that our heroes first bore with pride, you who have come to honor those who gave everything so we could live in liberty. To our private citizens, your presence is not just participation, it is a promise that you will not let their stories fade into silence. To our active, retired, and reserve personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, you are the living legacy of every soldier who fought for our flag. And to our esteemed guest of honor, Lieutenant General Aristotle D. Gonzalez of the Philippine Air Force, your leadership today lights the way for all who dare to defend what is right. My friends, in these times when regional tensions test our resolve and alleged corruption seeks to eat away at the very foundation of our nation, we are called to act with the same fire that burned in our heroes' hearts. To our men and women in uniform, your oath is sacred. You swore to protect the people and defend the Constitution, not just from foreign foes, but from any force that would rob our people of their dignity and their future. When public trust is broken, when resources meant for our poor and our children are stolen, we cannot stand idle. This march is not just a one-day event. It is the start of our lifelong commitment to be resilient warriors for truth, to fight for the government as honest as the heroes we honor today. I ask you now, look at the young faces beside you. Look at the children watching us from the sidelines. They are counting on us. Let this march be the moment we seal our promise that we will pass on these stories like a torch from parent to child, from soldier to civilian, from generation to generation. The memories of our heroes are not just in monuments or textbooks. They live in us, in the way we stand for our justice, in the way we serve our community, in the way we refuse to let corruption or apathy destroy what they build with their blood, sweat, and tears. Let this day be etched in our souls, that we walk these historic grounds and made a vow. We will never forget. We will carry their flame forward. We will build the Philippines they dreamed of, a nation free, strong, honest, and at peace. Now, as we conclude our final hour together, feel their presence beside you. Hear their voices in your hearts. Let every step echoes with a promise. Their sacrifices will never go in vain. Mabuhay po ang Pilipinas and mabuhay ang ating mga bayani. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Miss Marie Panglao Mason. Now let us be inspired by the words of Major General Romeo D. Alamillo, AFP, retired, as he delivers his inspirational remarks.
Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. May I greet our guest of honor speaker, who shall be properly introduced later. With the indulgence of the other very important personalities on the stage, I will no longer acknowledge each and everyone because they have been introduced and acknowledged 3 times over. So, but please allow me to greet and acknowledge the presence of the Veterans Federation of the Philippines, headed by Major General Ruben Carandang, our Vice President for Operations, and Captain Gilbert Baladhay, Philippine Navy, our Vice President for Finance, and all the other staff. And also, Vice President, Region 3, Veterans Federation of the Philippines, Veterano Binke, Marvin. Siya po ang nagdala ng 200 veterans dito ngayon. Sabi niya, kung binigyan lang natin siya ng pagkakataon at ng mag-aagang imbitasyon, baka 1,000 veterano dala niya dito. We are going into that. Sabi nga ni President Yule, we are going to improve. Also, may acknowledge the staff from the Veterans Bank. Thank you for organizing this one. Of course, sasabihan ko rin sila mamaya. Thank you. May also acknowledge the presence of our veterans from Region 3. Region 3, Tarlac specifically, ano? Andyan po sila. And I don't know if we have some surviving spouses na nandito, or sons and daughters. Of course, sons and daughters represented the Mike. You're still the Vice President of the National Sons and Daughters. Okay. I take pride on this group, Sons and Daughters, because I am also a firstborn son of a World War II veteran, a Korean War veteran, and an anti-insurgency campaign veteran. So it runs in the blood, sabi nga nila. I will no longer deal on what is the significance of this event. Although the Veterans Federation of the Philippines' mandate is to perpetuate patriotism, recognize heroism, come out with programs so that the sacrifices of our veterans during World War II, our forefathers, our fathers, will not be forgotten. And I would like to acknowledge the effort of the Veterans of the Philippine Veterans Bank. I have joined the Veterans Federation of the Philippines only 2020, or basically 2021. And yung Veterans Bank, ang logo nila, ano yan ang inyong contribution sa ano ay para sa veterano, parang gano'n diba? So, we have been meeting each other, mga gano'n. Of course, si President Yul, mga last year lang pumasok, last year, mga last quarter last year, binanggit sa akin ni Mike, meron kaming programa, sir, Freedom March. Sabi ko, narinig ko na yan, pero hindi nyo naman kami kinukumbida. So, sabi niya, I'll see to it that you'll get an invitation. So itong January, we were invited. So immediately, I asked my operations officer, General Karandang, let us see that we get involved. And the involvement must be something memorable. Actually, for the information nating mga tiga Tarlac, nagsimula po ang participation ng Veterans Federation of the Philippines 1 second after midnight noong 27. Parang 28 na, no? Because yung counterpart ninyo mga veterano sa Bataan, nandun po sila noong madaling araw, 1 second nga, into 28 February. So, nag-participate na sila doon. Pero hanggang 10 kilometers lang yata sila, first leg. But anyway, I told them, just go ahead. And yung counterpart ninyo mga veterano sa Tarlac will finish the last 11 kilometers. So, congratulations doon sa mga naglakad kanina. I understand may mga 90 sa kanila. Okay, so, a little long, but since nasabi ko kanina, mandato ng Veterans Federation of the Philippines ang i-commemorate lahat and i-link. So, early this morning, we were already at Clark. So, the invitation was to witness also or grace the wreath-laying ceremony doon sa Clark Cemetery. It used to be the American Cemetery. It's now called the Clark Cemetery. Of course, like any other cemetery, alam natin na mga nakalibing doon ay karamihan, if not all, ay World War II veterans. Karamihan ay Americans, may maraming Pilipino, maraming mga surviving spouses. And it has improved a lot. I have been assigned in Clark, kami ni General Karandang. So we are familiar with that area, and it's amazing how they converted the area into a real memorial cemetery for veterans. Napakaganda. Parang miniature ng American Cemetery sa Taguig, sa Manila. Then the next event is the wreath-laying sa Artillery Shrine. Now, I've been hearing about the Artillery Shrine. Kaya lang, since 2017 pa yata yan ano, Resty? And again, this is the first time that I attended a ceremony there. So maybe it's just enough to learn that yung artillery shrine na yan ay in commemoration of the Philippine Army Artillery Regiment, who started there and trained thousands of kanyonero, ang tawag natin yan, di ba? So initially, they were there in Fort Stotzenberg or Clark, and then eventually they ended up in Bataan. Dala-dala lang kanilang mga tubo or tube. 1918 155 cannons. 155 millimeter, malaki po yun. So, some of them ended up being prisoners of war and then suffering the death march also. So that's, and then yung walk ngayon is linked to that. So ang pinaka main event yan actually is the death march, so that we are all commemorating. So may mga side events, and I'm glad that Veterans Bank was able to link all of this. I just can imagine what is the effort brought into this. So, I hope this will continue. I'm sure that Veterans Federation of the Philippines will continue to participate. We will look at maybe participating from kilometer 0 to kilometer 111 and a half. Ito yata yun. It depends on my creaking bones. I think I intend to walk. Sabi ko kay Mike, samahan mo ako. Let's start from kilometer 0. Let's spend 2 days walking until paghanda natin, Resty? Yeah, okay. So, yun lang. Again, my congratulations to Veterans Bank for pulling this with the participation or partnership with PIVAO. So, I know that all these ideas also si General Aguilar. General Aguilar is the de facto historian of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Okay. Thank you everyone, and let's have a very nice evening ahead of us. Maraming salamat.
Thank you for the inspirational remarks, Major General Alamilio, AFP retired. We are honored to have with us a message from Undersecretary Reynaldo B. Mapagu, PIBAO Administrator, represented by Assistant Secretary Domingo C. Carbonell Jr., PIBAO Deputy Administrator for Operations.
Distinguished guests, may I dispense with greeting them one by one to save on time, as they've been mentioned before. Esteemed veterans and their families, the men and women of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, our valued partners and participants of the Freedom March, Good evening. In behalf of Undersecretary Reynaldo B. Mapagu, Administrator of the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, I welcome you to Kapas National Shrine. We gather here tonight to mark the conclusion of a journey that is physically demanding but profoundly meaningful. This has been more than just a commemorative trek. It is a powerful tribute to the bravery, resilience, and sacrifice of our World War II heroes. From Kilometer Zero in Mariveles, Bataan, to the sacred ground in Capas Tarlac, you have retraced the very path taken by thousands of Filipinos and American soldiers who endured the hardship and realities of war. But unlike them, you march not as prisoners of war, but as stewards of their memory, transforming their pain into purpose, their sufferings into remembrance, and their sacrifice into a source of inspiration for others. Your participation, especially those who walked or ran the 160 kilometers, serves as a gesture of gratitude from a grateful generation for the freedom we enjoy today. This event would not have been possible without the unwavering support of many. To the Philippine Veterans Bank, headed by President Eulogio Catabran III, sir, and Vice President Mike Villarreal, the men and women of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police, and other partners. They are behind this initiative. We extend our sincere appreciation for your continued commitment to honoring our veterans and being a pillar in preserving our nation's history. Again, to the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Philippine Veterans Bank, Philippine National Police, our partners, volunteers, organizers, and everyone who contributed to the success of this commemoration, most especially to the participants of this Freedom March. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang ating mga veterano.
Thank you, Assistant Secretary Domingo C. Carbonell Jr. And now, for our guest of honor and speaker, a message from the Chief of Staff, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines, is represented by Lieutenant General Aristotel D. Gonzalez, Philippine Air Force, Commander of Northern Luzon Command. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Isang mapagpalang gabi po sa ating lahat, and congratulations to those who completed the march. And sirs and ma'ams, with that, please allow me to first greet Assistant Secretary Domingo Carbonell Jr., Deputy Administrator for Operations, Philippine Veterans Affairs Office. Tactical Officer po namin si Sir nung kami po ay kadete. Assistant Secretary Restituto L. Aguilar, Deputy Administrator for Administration, Philippine Veterans Affairs Officer. Ms. Marie Tanglao Mason, Executive Assistant for External Affairs of Municipality of Capas Tarlac, ma'am. Major General Romeo D. Alamillo, Armed Forces of the Philippines, retired President and CEO of Veterans Federation of the Philippines, dati pong Vice Commander ng Philippine Air Force. At kapitbahay ko po sa Fernando Air Base ng araw. Mr. Eulogio V. Catabran III, President, Philippine Veterans Bank. Sir. Mr. Miguel Angelo Villarreal of the Philippine Veterans Bank. Sir. Let me also greet yung staff po na kasama ko, si Colonel Maribel Malangbao, our U9, and Colonel Demetrio Obispo Jr., our U7. to the participants and support staff of the Freedom March, and let me also greet the staff of Philippine Veterans Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Brawner Jr., Philippine Army, sends his sincerest apologies for not being able to join us in today's ceremony due to an equally important commitment that requires his presence. Nevertheless, he has tasked me with the privilege of representing him today and delivering his message on his behalf. So, and I quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Filipinos, over the last 42 hours, more than 1,000 of you walked the road from Mariveles, Bataan to Capas, Tarlac. You walked under the heat, you walked through fatigue, you walked step after step, carrying not only your packs, but the memory of those who walked the same ground 84 years ago under far harsher conditions. You did not simply join an event, you walked history. And in doing so, you honored men who had no choice but to walk, wounded, hungry, exhausted, yet unwilling to surrender the dignity, their loyalty, and their love of country. The Freedom March is symbolic, the Death March was not. In 1942, our soldiers marched not to applause but to captivity, not towards celebration but towards suffering. Many fell along the way, many never returned home. Yet, even in defeat, they remained Filipino, disciplined, faithful, resolute. That is why their story endures. Every kilometer from Bataan to Capas carries the weight of sacrifice. This whole path is sacred to our nation. Not because of tragedy alone, but because of the character revealed here. Bataan was not only a test of endurance, it was a test of identity. And our soldiers proved that even in the darkest hour, the Filipino spirit does not break. Today, as we gather here at the Capas National Shrine, we are reminded that remembrance is not automatic. It is a decision. You decided to walk. You decided that this history matters. You decided that the sacrifices of our veterans will not fade into silence. And because of that decision, their story continues, not only in monuments, but in living memory. History is not preserved by statues alone. It is preserved when each generation understands it, values it, and chooses to live by it. To the descendants of our World War II veterans who are here today, your fathers and grandfathers carried more than physical burdens. They carried the future of this republic, the freedoms we enjoy, the sovereignty we defend, and the nation we continue to build were preserved by their courage. To our soldiers and reservists, the uniform you wear today is directly linked to the spirit of Bataan. Our missions may have evolved, our operational environment may be different, but the standard remains unchanged. Loyalty to the Constitution, protection of our people, and unwavering commitment to the Republic. To our partners in government, business leaders, educators, and members of civil society, national resilience is not the task of the armed forces alone. Sovereignty is secured not only by weapons, but by unity, discipline, integrity, and shared responsibility. Every generation faces its own tests. Forced marches may not mark ours, but we are tested in other ways, in how we defend truth, how we remain united when division is easier, how we choose country over convenience, and how we stand firm when responsibility demands it. In those moments, Bataan becomes more than a place in history. It becomes a standard that reminds us when the nation is tested, we do not retreat from responsibility. A standard that teaches us that freedom survives when citizens remain steadfast. The Armed Forces of the Philippines remains committed to upholding that standard in partnership with the Filipino people. But today is not only about institutions, it is about the Filipino spirit. Then our veterans carried sufferings so that the Republic would survive. Today, you carried the march so that their memory would endure. And now, we, all of us, must carry forward the values that made them strong. You carried the march. You carried the legacy. Let that legacy be seen in how we lead, in how we serve, in how we defend what is ours, in how we remain united despite challenges. 84 years ago, they walked this road in captivity. Today, you walk it in freedom. Let us prove ourselves worthy of both. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang ating mga veterano. Mabuhay ang sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang Republika ng Pilipinas. End of quote. The message of the Chief of Staff reminds us that remembrance is not confined to ceremonies, but must be reflected in how we live and serve each day. As we depart from this hallowed ground of Capas National Shrine, may we carry with us not only the memory of the march from Mariveles to Capas, but the enduring lessons of courage, unity, and steadfast patriotism. Let this occasion strengthen our resolve to uphold the values of veterans that they fought for, to serve with integrity, and to stand united in safeguarding our nation's freedom. Thank you, and once again, good evening to everyone. Have a safe travel back to your respective homes.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Gonzalez, Philippine Air Force. As we approach the final part of our program, we will now proceed to the untying of the Freedom March Gidon, led by our guest of honor and speaker, Lieutenant General Aristotel D. Gonzalez of the Philippine Air Force. We invite our VIPs to help our guest of honor and speaker in untying the Gidon. That, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the Freedom March 2026.